Coming to you live from the world-famous Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California. Are you ready to get weird? It's DJ Wonder Live. Featuring TJ Martinelli. Dashing Dick Wrangler. The Wonder Weirdos. And here's your host, the man with a plan who doesn't need a band. It's DJ Wonder.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Hello, baby, baby. What's good? I see Seth has entered the chat with his own emote. I don't know how that even happened. He must have hacked me. Everyone is Seth tonight. Everyone's a Seth. I want you to go to as many DJ, all my subscribers, all my weirdos, I want you to go to as many different DJs, platforms on their sets, and just give them the Seth emote and don't tell them what it means. We're gonna start this here. Just hit them with the Seth emote and we don't explain it at all right? There is no explanation. Ladies, thank you for everything you did for me today. I appreciate you. Gotta say goodbye to you for a second. H. Wood Heinz, what up, baby? How you doing? Watson Bobby, DJ Nick, Bike, Evander Hologram, one of my favorite names on here. Ray Wonder, killing him with the emotes, man. I saw you earlier, nice. Buttery T in the place to be. Buttery T in here. Buttery C is in here. Dig'em Smacks, what's up? Alta, of course, how you doing? DJ Scar 412. Scar 412. Angelica. Hey, Angelica, how are you? Arrogant Ninja, what's up? Thank you for subscribing, Arrogant Ninja. You're the best. Yes. All right, man. We got a big night. We should might as well get started here in a second. I got to run through a couple things with you. DJ Casper, what's up, baby? Hakeem, what's up, Prince Hakeem over there on Facebook? How you doing? Aggie Panda, thank you for subscribing. You guys are going ham mad early. Also, thank you to DJ Marvel for my shirt. I thought I would wear my shirt tonight for DJ Marvel. It's Halloween season. Let me head on over to the desk. I gotta close this first because my ladies are waiting for me. And I think our special guest might have entered the green room already. I hope everything is up to par for him back there, but we'll check that out in a second. Ladies, I'm coming to you. I'm coming. Be back in 1 second. Long walk from the studio to the desk. I got a couple things to go over real quick before our special guest, DJ A-TRAK, will be coming on. A couple things that I saw today. In the world of news. First thing. Quibi is a rap, my G's. Quibi is a rap. I know this is important to each and every one of you because I'm sure all of you are watching Quibi sideways on your phone, but that joint is out of here, baby. Personally, I had to do, I think, with the Chrissy Teigen courtroom show, but that's just my own conspiracy theory. But here's the real deal. Jeffrey Katzenberg, we had him on the show in the morning show with Sway and him, but he was pretty cool. But this is the quote that kind of put him under, man. Right here, look at this. I've been doing this before you're all effing born. Listen, you got a little too high and mighty, baby. They raised like $1.75 billion for this, and now everybody's pretty much out, all the investors. That's the price you pay when you invest in something. This isn't Shark Tank, my dude. This is not Shark Tank. So all you Quibi fans, I'm sorry. It's been a sad day for you. Another sad day for Shonda Rhimes. She ditched ABC, and she's finally saying why. It's because they wouldn't give her an extra Disneyland pass. I've been trying to tell you guys this the whole time. Disneyland is what it's all about. She works for ABC, which owns Disney, and she had 2 VIP passes. She asked for 1 more, and they said, don't you have enough already? She decided it was a wrap from that point, so ABC, what's wrong with you, man? Anybody see Cameron at a wedding? This is my personal. Maybe we can ask A-TRAK about this. I know he's a fan of Cameron. Cameron went to a wedding and got busy. Look at he's in his element right here, man. doing old boy right here at the wedding. Is that Stretch Armstrong? Oh no, it's not. Never mind. Definitely smashing Milfage that night. Cameron, amazing job there. Amazing job, Cameron. One last thing. Here's what's new on Netflix, if anybody cares. A bunch of crap. But a bunch of holiday movies, and then Clockwork Orange is good. Boys in the Hood is coming back. I think it was already on before. Little Monsters, that's coming back. That was already on there. Ocean's 11. Dude, Netflix does not have a lot of good movies. And I love old movies. That's my favorite thing, but they just keep recycling them over and over. Paranormal series is coming. I don't know. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But it doesn't really matter, because bigger than all of this is our special guest tonight. Let me make sure he's lined up and looking pretty. Sir, I can see you, A-TRAK. I'm not going to show everybody else yet, but can you line up a little bit to your left? A little bit to your left. Yeah, because you're going to see in 1 second what you look like. Beautiful even. And now let me put on some music to accompany this nice little talk we're going to have. Oh, yes. There we go. That's what we like to hear. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the weirdos, thank you guys for checking us out tonight. I know you're here for one reason only. It's not for me. Oh, no. It's not for me, baby. It's for the one and only A-TRAK.
What's up?
What's going on, man? Look at that. You're looking perfect right there. Great framing.
All right.
You do this for a living.
Okay.
I can tell. So, folks, guess we did it. We can retire now. After 18 shows, we got the man himself, A-TRAK, on here. So we've been waiting for this day. In case you guys don't know, owner of Fool's Gold Records, the Goldie Awards, part of Duck Sauce, part of the brothers Maklevich, and amongst many other things. I'm sure you have a bunch of ventures like you were on Shark Tank that we don't know about as well, too, right? No? So let's just go back real quick, because I want to run through a lot of stuff here, and we want to make sure we get to everything. Did you grew up in Montreal? Is that correct, or on the outskirts of Montreal, or actually in the city?
In the city, right in the middle of it. Yeah, born and raised in Montreal.
Nice. And then how was Montreal? Because we had somebody, Marvel, DJ Marvel came on here and said he got robbed in Montreal, and I said Montreal has to be the softest city to be robbed in, but that might not be true. Was there some rough areas when you grew up?
I mean, yeah, there kind of was, but not where I grew up was chill. But Montreal's a really fun city to grow up in, because it's just like at the intersection of a lot of stuff culturally, and there's the whole bilingual thing, so French and English, but it's generally a very multicultural city, and you get influences from the rest of the US, the rest of Canada, but Europe as well. So there's just like a lot connecting there.
If you're a hip-hop fan growing up in Montreal, you were definitely more with the East Coast kind of thing, do you think, than West Coast?
Mostly, yeah, definitely. I mean, New York is not that far from Montreal. New York is a straight shot down. It's kind of a 6-hour drive, 1-hour flight.
Nice.
I mean, we used to take the Greyhounds when we were younger just to go to New York too. That was like an 8-hour Greyhound.
And yeah, your parents would let your brother just take you down to New York City like it was all good?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, my mom has family in New York. So even when we were like pre-teens or whatever, I remember being around like 11, 12, 13 or whatever, she would take my brother and I down to New York for, little 1-week trips in the summer to visit her family. And then Dave and I would go wander off and try to find some, record shops or whatever. So it's been kind of like my entry point to hip hop in American culture since I was that young.
Yeah, it sounds like me when I was 14. I went on a field trip with none of my friends. I went with all upperclassmen, and all the teachers went to go get drunk, and the upperclassmen went to the peep shows in Times Square. So I know what you're talking about, baby.
Same thing.
Eventually, you got on the old turntables, man. Do you think that God gifted you with the physique or something physical about your body to make yourself natural around turntables, to be able to master it at such a young age?
I don't think there's anything gifted about my physique specifically, but I think, all joking aside, I think when it comes to special talents and this sort of thing, because being a scratch DJ is kind of comparable to being like an Olympic athlete or something. It's like, when you look at the competitive side of what I was doing, especially in those years, I think there's part of it is a sort of affinity for it, but a big part of it is just practice. And you see the same thing with other musicians that you'll hear about that started really young and worked their asses off in their younger years to then become, to then get to the big stage, whatever. I think there's a little something that's different at the start where the first time I tried scratching, it sounded half decent, whereas I think most people will try scratching and it sounds like total ass, so they just sort of give up. But I mean, at the end of the day, I was coming home straight from school every day, putting in hours day after day, and that's how I got good.
How were you in the classroom? Did you get good grades as well?
Yeah. I did get good grades, so that was like when my parents finally figured out that I was actually doing something with the record player and that there was some sort of scratching thing happening in the basement. Like, the conversation with my dad was as simple as like, if you keep your grades up, you can do this stuff. That was like the one thing that couldn't be that couldn't change.
All right, so it was a good trade-off for you. Just, you're a good kid, so you can do whatever the hell you want. You can go to New York City and try to go to Fat Beats if you want to. Eventually, you ended up 1997, man. That's the fateful year. The old Disco Mix Club World Champion. I'm sure that was an amazing time for you. Did you have any idea that you were gonna win this thing when you went into it? Were you confident, or were you just like, I'm glad to be here?
I mean, I didn't think I was gonna win, but I prepared like crazy. So, and it was like the crazy thing with that DMC in '97. That was my first battle in the sense that I won the Montreal eliminations. That was my first battle, period, was the Montreal regionals. And then that took me to the Canadian finals, which took me to the world finals. And then I won that. It was just kind of a straight line to becoming world champion. And I remember entering the Montreal battle and thinking, I might have some sort of shot. Or if anything, because at that point in time, scratching was changing a lot, and there was a lot of new scratches and new tricks. And there was a sort of an older guard of DJs in Montreal that was a little slower to pick up on these new tricks. For me, everything was new. So whether I was learning an old school scratch, like a transformer scratch or whatever, or if I was learning the crab that was brand new, it was just all new vocabulary for me. So I was up on a lot of stuff that other DJs that were twice my age couldn't do. So I went into the Montreal battle and thought, let me try to, see where I can get here. But even by the time I got to the Canadian finals, I remember thinking, let me see if I can be top 3. I wasn't thinking I was going to win that, because there was DJs from Toronto that had a really good reputation, and they always won every year. But then I won that. By the time I got to the world finals, I just wanted to like have a clean routine. Like, I just wanted it to be tight. And then whatever happens, happens. But that was my main thing, is let me just go up there and represent.
Right.
And have my shit as tight as possible.
It's like skateboarders, like the younger kids, when they know that people now have to like they were making tricks, but young kids, they learn them from the very beginning. They learn how to ride switch and everything else. You were kind of like that. Like, you were such a young age, you were picking up on everything and learning it at the same time, right?
For sure. And like a lot of it is similar to skate culture in those years. Like in those years, turntablism was this subculture. I mean, I'm sure you remember, where you could go to any city and there was a couple bedroom DJs or local DJs who were all watching the same VHS tapes and studying the same tapes. And that connected people at a time when the internet was barely starting to exist. I mean, it existed, but it was slow as hell. It was dial-up stuff. So, but you know, when I started traveling, my first couple trips as a DJ, I remember going to New York, going to Miami, going to San Francisco, and meeting local DJs who were watching the same videos as me, the same way that you would see that with skating. And there's another parallel where there certain periods it was all about tricks and technique. There's like very technical periods, and then other periods it would just be about style and flow, which were kind of like my first couple years I was obsessed with technique and like really mastering the most complicated shit, but afterwards I became way more obsessed with style.
You know what tape I would watch over and over? Funkmaster Flex at MTV New Year's Eve, 1998. I would watch that sucker, over and over and over. Funkmaster.
I never
Flex.
saw that.
Oh, look, they only showed him scratching maybe 30 seconds out of each commercial break. So that's all. Like, you had to make a little compilation on VHS for that.
Yeah.
Dude, so were you doing music production? I know your brother had been doing music production. Were you getting into that as well, or were you focused more just on the turntablism stuff?
Yeah, that's right. My brother was making beats, but I was mostly just doing the scratching thing. But I made a few sort of like scratch-based tracks in those early years, which was basically involved me getting like a Tascam 8-track or 4-track, like renting it from the local music equipment store for like a week or two, laying down some ideas, grab like a kick and a snare, scratch those for the whole duration of the track, grab a hi-hat, scratch that for the whole duration, scratch a bass line, scratch some samples over it. So actually I had a record that came out on Stone's Throw in 1999, a 45, that was called Enter Ralph Wiggum. That was one of my first tracks. And there was also a compilation that Stone's Throw curated for Strength magazine, which was, I think, a skate magazine actually. So those were like my first forays into messing around with recording music at all, but it was still very scratchy. I didn't get into actually making beats until probably like, I don't know, early 2000s, a couple of years later.
Right. And then, real quick, I want to talk about the Brand Van 3000 video. Man,
oh yeah.
Dude, I love Drinking in LA. I don't know if a lot of people know that song, but I think it's kind of made a resurgence, especially it was like the 20th anniversary, I think back in 2017 or something like that.
Okay.
But how was it being on the set? Did you even know those guys, or you just got put
I mean, I didn't know them well, but there's one. So Brand Van 3000 is a group from Montreal, and yeah, their big hit at that time was a song called Drinking in LA, and this is in an era when, you know, I guess you could call it trip hop was popping off, and just like, you know, it was comparable to whatever was coming out on Grand Royal, and you know, even some Beck stuff, just sort of like all kinds of groups that had like SP1200 beats, but a guitar player, but some sort of rapper who wasn't very good. Like that was just like a thing in around 97.
Yeah.
And I mean, Montreal's a small scene at the end of the day. And I was introduced to this guy, James DeSalvio, who on one hand was a video director himself. And he was from a family where, like, I think his brothers like managed local venues and bars and clubs. So like he was in music, but he was a music video director himself. And he started this band with a couple friends. And, you know, he was just like, my band's shooting a video. Can we film you scratching an intro for it? And that was for Drinking in LA, which ended up being this massive record internationally. But it's not even in every version of the video, but there's one version of the video where the first 30 seconds is just me doing a scratch solo. I think I was 14.
Yeah. Did any of the extras try to holler at you, the groupies there on set?
Yeah. No, although in those years, even if they did, I probably wouldn't have.
You're like,
I was like,
ladies, leave me alone.
Scratching.
I'm in love with my turntables, baby. Relax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta respect the union.
Respect it. That's how he got so great, folks. Listen, stop going out every weekend. Once you stay home and perfect your craft, maybe you too can be like A-TRAK. All right.
Yep.
Now let's jump ahead. You talked about the early 2000s. Eventually, you got hooked up with Kanye around 2004. You went on tour with him for the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, that must have been an amazing time, because I think he had just like kind of broken up with my friend, this girl Brooke. So he was probably like wilding out at this time.
Oh shit, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Brooke, right? So dude, you don't have to go into detail, but was there like a debaucherous moments on this tour that you just saw from afar, or
Yeah, there was some for sure. And it's like that was still the era when his original crew of Chicago friends was like all on the tour bus. So it was just like the crew from back home all traveling, going out of town on on a big tour. The first tour that I did with Kanye, we were opening up for Usher. We were playing in arenas, playing right before Usher. So it was an Usher tour. So there was definitely some wilding out. It was pretty hilarious.
Did what was more nerve wracking, battling or DJing for Kanye for those first couple shows?
Battling by far. Battling just taught me like the kung fu, and then I could apply that to anything after.
Nice. Nerves of steel. This guy has. Did it?
But then the Kanye shit, like we never had a rehearsal ever.
Wow.
Maybe like years later, or years into it, but like the first couple of tours I did with him, they would give me the tracks ahead of time, and there would be a sound check that would get extended a little bit. Maybe instead of doing a half-hour sound check, maybe that first day we would stay there like an hour and a half, 2 hours, run through some shit, and that was it. Then it's like live in front of 10,000 people or something.
Was he like James Brown, like hit me on the one, and you just had to know right away what it was?
I had to. He was firing light guys. He was firing his light guys every week. It was like Spinal Tap when the drummers keep dying.
Yeah.
Like his light guys were always getting fired, and then the band was getting switched around. I mean, in the beginning there wasn't a band. In the beginning it was me playing instrumentals and scratching, John Legend on the piano, maybe some of the early shows, Miri Ben Ari on strings, and yay, that was it. But like the first many months was John Legend, me, and Kanye on stage. That's it. And it was one of those like sink or swim things where I was able to catch on with him and be at the same speed as his brain. And I ended up working with him for 4 years.
Did the tour make you a diva at all? Maybe with like hotels. I know you did a lot of hotel reviews, but in any other aspect, did you expect certain things moving forward after that?
We were still sharing rooms in those. I was sharing a room with the merch guy
Oh.
on the first tour. But I will say this: touring with Kanye, especially those early years, 2004, 2005, that's what showed me what it means to have a tour manager. Because up until then, DJs didn't have any kind of road crew. DJs would just show up by themselves. Now we're used to DJs showing up with one person, maybe sometimes two people, especially in EDM. Now you got DJs that have their tour manager, their front of house sound guy, the photographer, videographer, confetti specialist, all this shit,
Yeah.
Back then it was a one-man show, and touring with Ye showed me when there's staff, kind of what it frees up, even mentally, to not have to think about, what time's my interview again? What time is lobby call? Who is it, this person picking me up or that person? When someone else is handling that, you can just you free up your mind to like have a little bit of creativity, which is really challenging on the road.
Nice. Eventually, we started the old Fool's Gold Records, 2007, man.
Yep.
Still going strong. Now,
Still going.
one of the first things I remember was a party at for Cudi for his mixtape at like the Red Bull Space. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He was. How was? Did you end up like signing him in any way, or you just kind of like worked with him?
Cudi was assigned to one single. Day and Night was a Fool's Gold release, where we also got the Crookers remix. So the two versions of the songs blew up, and then he signed to Universal Motown for the album, where they sort of bought back the master to that song. But we did put out the one single that blew up, and he came on the road with us and did a couple of Fool's Gold tours, and sort of like did his first couple shows in front of while people were walking in back in those days.
Exactly. But so is there somebody like that you regret not signing? Anybody that came through your doors that you passed on that ended up popping off?
K-Tronada. There's a couple for sure, but K-Tro gave me a demo in Montreal when he used to be called K-Tradamus.
Yep, I remember.
Which sounded really, you know what I mean? It sounded like Fosterdamus, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. But there was a couple. I mean, it was dope, but there was a few people coming out of Montreal making really interesting beats at the same time, and we didn't pick him. I mean, Hudson Mohawk gave me a demo really early on, and I wish I'd signed him too. Although now we're just all friends and shit. Same with K-Tra. They're all, we're all homies. But there's a few that that we didn't catch.
Right. And eventually you started your own super group, Duck Sauce, with Armand Van Helden, and you guys just put out a new single, Mesmerize. We'll talk about that in a second. But it's also the 10-year anniversary of Barbra Streisand, right?
Yeah.
Looking back at 10 years, first off, did you think that record was going to go off, or it was just like a passion? You like disco house stuff and you wanted to put something out?
We definitely didn't think it was going to be a #1 record. And we definitely didn't think that, like, Armand and I used to make about 3 or 4 new songs at the beginning of the year and then choose one to put out as the single. And those first couple of years, we put out 1 single a year. And when we made that batch, the previous year we put out our actual first single anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we linked up again and made a couple tracks, and we thought Barbra Streisand was going to be like the quirky B-side. I think we made 4 songs in that batch, and we thought Barbara was cool, but it was more one of those, like, I would link up with friends and be like, hey, you want to hear like a ridiculous record? And I would just play it. And we started playing at a few shows, and everyone was like, what's that song? And it just took off like crazy. So we definitely didn't think, even then, even when there started being a lot of demand for it, but we were still like working on clearing the sample and all this other stuff, we didn't think it would actually like go that crazy to where you would hear it at like on a beach in fucking Croatia years later, or like at a bar mitzvah in Greece, or like those kind of international show. Like for years, my friends would send me photos of their babies, their kids dancing to it. Like when it becomes like a 2-year-old's favorite record, that's a whole other category.
Yeah, man. I try to say, if my parents like know about an artist or something like that, I know that the artist has made it for sure.
Yeah,
it's like one of those deals. And then the Mesmerized video, bro. I checked this out. Director is Keith Schofield, right? Or Schofield.
Yeah.
Schofield. I don't know how to say his name.
Keith Schofield. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, you got to check this out. Just type in Duck Sauce MES Mesmerize on there, and done completely with rendered graphics and like stock video footage and stuff like that. Did he come to you with this treatment, or did you have a say in how it looked, or what was the deal?
Yeah. So Keith Schofield is a genius, and he's a legendary video director, and he made Big Bad Wolf, which was probably our best music video prior to that. Big Bad Wolf came out in 2011, and that was nominated for a VMA, and it was just this really wild video.
Where your heads were your ding dongs, basically.
Our heads were our crotches. Yeah. It was a crotch face concept.
Right.
And so you can check that out. And Keith hasn't really made music videos as much in the last couple of years. Most directors have a run of a few years at doing that, but I don't think anybody really makes money making music videos. So eventually they start doing other stuff. They'll start working on commercials or movies or other stuff. So when we were plotting the release for Mesmerize earlier in the summer, it was, on one hand, COVID time. On the other hand, just sort of, brainstorm time, like what kind of video can we even make? And I've, ever since we made Big Bad Wolf, any other song that Duck Sauce made, I would hit Keith and be like, do you want to make another one? Because that one was just really special. And I don't know, man, I guess he was at home and had some ideas and some time, and he was like, all right, I got one idea. And he's like, but if we do it, we have to do it like this. And he sent me a test of like 30 or 40 seconds of this. It's an animatic, basically. It has the names of the shots, and it has the shots or numbers and names of the cameras used and all this stuff. And it's like putting out a demo, but he was like, this is the video. And it had these really rough cutouts of me and Armand. But the idea was that as you're watching, you start seeing what the director sees on his screen, his or her screen, and the director's sort of panicking because not enough is happening, and they start just bringing in more and more crazy ideas. So the first little demo that he sent me, like after a few seconds of us DJing in a club, you see the search bar and the director searches, what's the animal with the biggest penis? And all this ridiculous shit. He's just trying to throw more excitement. And there was also already some of the cameos like Bruce Willis and stuff. Right away, I was like, this is it. This is the video. We got to make this. And, but I let him fully take the reins, which he's probably the only director that I would do that with. Usually I stay pretty involved with videos, and I'll ask to see the updated treatments and the shot list and this and that. But this guy, I was like, you want to do this? All right, boom, tell me when you're done.
And
And then I didn't even know it was gonna go there, but he went there.
Oh yeah, stay for the end of the video, folks. It's a new new version of Body Wars, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was perfect timing as well because a lot of people couldn't get into studios and a lot of people couldn't be around each other, I guess. So it was a great time to have a fully in the box video made, and it turned out really dope. So everybody check that one out. Now, crazier touring, because look, man, I've been in the club around Armand Van Helden, especially in New York City. I know he's an animal, man. He's a magnet. Okay, crazier touring with him or Kanye?
I mean, it's different because the Kanye tours had, 10 people traveling. It's like a bigger staff. Even in those years, I haven't worked with Kanye in like 12 years. And even then, it was a whole crew where everyone's trying to get theirs. Armand and I, it would just be the two of us. Even before the tours, like we became friends just like when I moved to New York and we would just hit the clubs and just like go watch DJs. I think he's more of a legend.
Yeah, go watch DJs. That's what I do in the club too, A-TRAK. Sure, I'm just watching the DJs. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right, I agree. I believe he is a legend as well. Hey, have you ever checked out the site Lipstick Alley before? You ever heard of that before?
I may have heard that name. What is that? I think I know where this is going.
It's usually it's like a urban kind of thing where groupies go and talk about like people. And like they look up athletes. Hey, did you know the athlete slept with this person? Blah blah blah. Have you ever? Have you ever searched your own name on Lipstick Alley?
I've not.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's see what we have here. There's only one post, so it's not that bad. A-TRAK. So I'm not gonna throw you in anything here. But this is somebody there, and this is in 2012. They were asking for it. They said, "Don't judge me." I don't know how you want to take that, but they said, "I already know that he's from Montreal. He's an older brother, singer of Chromeo, lives in Brooklyn, Jewish and Moroccan. Used to be Kanye's DJ. Used to date Kid's sister, so he's down with the swirl. Yes, a white man who loves sisters. My life is complete." And they're asking about you here, and look, no T on you, A-TRAK. How are you able to do this, man? And then somebody said, yeah, the beard makes him look. He's so cute. They think you're so cute here. And then somebody said, oh, the duck sauce dude. Yes, that guy. So look, man, you made it through almost completely unscathed there. So you've been able to kind of keep it on the DL for most of your career. Is that something you do purposely, or you're just kind of I don't want to say DL. What's the word? Where you're a personable person. What's the hell word am I looking for? You're a homebody sometimes. Is that the case?
I mean, I don't really put too much of my business out there. So I guess that's why you have a clean record on Lipstick Alley.
That's right, baby. Be happy you have a clean record on your Lipstick Alley. Because trust me,
it's better than my Uber rating.
Yeah, and you do not search Diplo on there. Trust me. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Listen, man, you are a worldly person. You've been around the world doing championships and touring and everything else. There was somebody that hit me up on the Zoom here, and I thought maybe they were like part of your management team. Do you know somebody named Electric Moldova or something like that? Do you know this person?
Electric what?
I don't know his name. Let me see what it is here. Hold on. Hello? What's up, man?
Hello. How are you, Wonder?
A-TRAK, is this guy here with you or no?
Electric Moldova, maybe he should be.
All right.
You don't recognize me?
Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Why don't you tell the people who you are, buddy? Who are you?
This is DJ Electric Moldova, your rival from the 97 DMC World Finals. You don't recognize me, do you?
A-TRAK, do you remember somebody?
Do
you remember somebody named Electric Moldova in the 97?
I love that name.
I don't know, dude. First off, how'd you even get this Zoom address, buddy? We're in the middle of an interview here.
You know, I live in Russia. We have connections, and basically we own the internet, and so you don't have to ask anymore.
Okay, so anyway, well, do you have a problem with A-TRAK or something? Why are you hitting us up?
You know, Mr. A-TRAK, I need to explain to you how what you did to me makes me superior than you in every way, since you beat me at the finals. I needed to tell you, congratulations on your label Fool's Gold. My label Genius Gold. Do you get it? Because it's better in every way.
Okay, what else, man? Anything else? What else you been doing since 97? Come on.
I've been starting my own conglomerate back here. We are not Duck Sauce, because Duck is tiny bird. My DJ is back here. We are Goose juice.
All right, Goose Juice. That's right. Well, listen, man. A-TRAK may have. Did he ruin your life or something because he beat you in '97? Were you the only one in your town DJing or what?
I sprained my wrist in the finals, and so I'm relegated to doing weddings in Moldova. Now, it's a good gig, but I could be worldwide.
Were you the guy I saw? You were playing with like a cassette player or something like that at the finals?
Absolutely. You remember, I had 2 cassette decks at once.
Okay. Do you remember that A-TRAK or no?
Nope.
No. All right, dude. I think you're pretty much a fraud there, Electric Moldova. Anything else you want to say to A-TRAK? Because we got to get you out of here, man. Come on.
I am rehabbing this arm, and I will see you at the next World Championships. It will not give out this time.
All right. Bye.
Good.
See you, man. Do you have crazy fans like that, A-TRAK, that hit you up when you go to different countries?
No.
Okay, well, that guy's just an anomaly, I guess, man.
Yeah.
I saw you on Twitch. You were using a TR-8S, I believe, drum machine.
Yeah.
And then you were that was like kind of like the beginning of the old Corona. How have you thought about streaming? Is this something you want to do every so often, or what's your take on that?
Yeah. My approach to like the streaming sets is like, I didn't want to have a regular schedule every week or whatever. I'm only doing sets when there's like a specific idea or different, like a theme that I wanted to try out, or sometimes just if I feel like it. But I'm just doing it when the inspiration strikes. But then the stuff with the TR-8S, that's a drum machine that connects to it syncs up with Serato, and I've been doing sort of like live production with that. So it's been cool to like come up with a new type of performance basically, and like eventually I'm gonna do live shows with that. So yeah, man, just trying to make the most of the time at home.
Right, you did the Digital Mirage Festival set. You did already using that, right?
Yeah, there was that, and then there was a set for Defected in the UK where I used that too.
Nice. Also, you got the brothers Maklovich, you and your brother. You had the newest track is "I Can Call You." What's the sound that differentiates this from Duck Sauce or from just an A-TRAK remix record?
So brothers Maklovich with my brother Dave, that's it's definitely less housey than Duck Sauce. It's just kind of like us going back to some of our like mid-90s influences when we first got into making music ourselves. So kind of an acid jazz, soulful jazz sort of zone, like somewhere between Jamiroquai and Masters at Work, and even sort of anything that was on Giant Step, Talking Loud, those kinds of labels.
That seems to
be music to wear a Kangol to.
That's right. That seems to be the case for a lot of guys that I've talked to, especially if they've done house and they're successful in it, or hip hop or anything. A lot of people are going to like trip hop stuff or like DJ Shadow or Moby kind of sounds in this era. Do you think there's a reason why people want to come back to those like breakbeat drums?
I mean, I think there's like there's something about those sort of hybrid styles that you feel like you can always continue exploring them. It's not really formulaic. There's a lot of different ways that you can grab some element from hip hop and some element from jazz and some element from house music and combine them. There's a lot of ways to do that. Whereas I think if you just do hip hop, or if you just do house music or trap or EDM or whatever, that kind of gets old after a while. And and I just think in general there's kind of a nostalgia for the late 90s now anyways.
Yes, I mean, I've never left the 90s, so there's always going to be a nostalgia for me. I tell you that much right now. If there's any genre that you haven't worked with that you could do, or do a remix for, or just work with an artist, what genre would that be?
I've never done any drum and bass. I think that could be cool to try out at some point.
But you'd have to get Craze's approval. Do you think you could make something that he would play? I
hope so. I think he'd be excited.
Yeah. All right, you also have the Duck Duck Goose. What do you call this? A podcast or a YouTube show? What do you call it? What you're doing?
Cable access TV show.
Okay, cable access TV show. And you had some guests on. You had David Guetta. You had the Flat Earther. I forget his name is missing.
That came out today.
Yeah. What's your goal with this? Are you interested in like a podcast format, or like even a TV, like you said, a cable TV access show format, or?
I mean, the idea with that is just with Duck Sauce. For Armand and I to just kind of do more than just put records out, especially this year with the fact that we're just stuck at home, and we know a lot of interesting people, or we're also interested in reaching out to people we don't even know, but like he and I can have a conversation with pretty much anyone, and I think there's something that comes out of it. So we just thought, like, let's do an interview show, but the guests are basically either music legends like DJ Premier or Todd Terry, or like total esoteric weirdness. And yeah, we've been going back and forth between those two zones.
I mean, I think that's everybody's favorite things. Everybody's either a complete weirdo and you're into music as well. So that's a good combination. Yeah. Do you have a dream guest for the Duck Duck Goose show?
Man, I don't know. We have a couple things coming up that I'm really excited about, but I don't even want to say, like, we're only 5 episodes in, so I want to see what comes out the next few weeks, and then we'll fantasize again.
All right. The correct answer was Jesus, but that's fine. We can go with what you said as well. What do you miss the most, and what do you miss the least about touring every single day?
I mean, what I miss the most is just like the rush, the energy from the crowd. Like, it's definitely been a weird adjustment to be home so many months without getting this interaction with crowds that I've had for like 20 years nonstop, if not even a little more. But then the best part is just, you know, being able to focus on certain things for a longer extended time, and even just like reevaluating some things, because like when I was really on the road multiple times a week, you're just on autopilot. You're not even thinking twice about shit. You're just going from point A to point B. It's almost Weekend at Bernie's. Like, what do I, this interview, that thing, this show, sleep, emails, and you're just running and gunning.
Well, you were living Weekend at Bernie's. I'm currently living Groundhog Day. So I'd rather have your life, buddy. But all right, last thing I want to ask you: if you could find out one thing, either about the future or about yourself from the future. Okay, so you're like, I want to know what's going to happen. You can know what's going to happen in 5 years, either with the world or something about yourself. What would you want to know?
Wait, you said either the future or what was the other thing?
Okay, it's both the future, but you can either find out something that's going to happen in the world in 5 years or something that's going to happen to yourself in 5 years, or where you'll be in 5 years. What would you want to know?
I guess I shouldn't. I guess I shouldn't be selfish and just see what the world is in 5 years.
Okay, all right.
Who at this point, like the amount of shit that happened this year, I don't need. Who knows what 5 years will give us?
I know. Once again, I would always ask for the lottery numbers. That's what I would ask for. But you're a selfless person, A-TRAK, and that's why we think you're a great guy. The new single on from Duck Sauce is called Mesmerize. We're gonna play that in a second. You want to tell everybody where they can find you and if they want to check you out or any of your shows or anything?
Yes, I would love to. I wish I knew where my shows would be, but people could check me out on social media pretty much. A-TRAK, A-TRAK, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube channel, Facebook, but mostly Instagram and Twitter.
Nice. Well, I didn't mean live shows, but I meant like your Duck Duck Goose show or anything else. But they can find you.
Yeah. So I mean, really, when you go to any of those properties, all the links are there. Duck Duck Goose is on the Duck Sauce YouTube channel. As far as Twitch sets that I do here and there, I do those on the Fool's Gold channel. So that's twitch.tv/foolsgoldrex, RECS. So if anybody that's watching on Twitch right now can follow us there.
Nice. Oh, man. So, A-TRAK, I told you I was going to have you on for 15 minutes, and we made it almost an hour. I'm not even going to DJ tonight because it's our power hour. I only do 1 hour, so thank you. Yeah, you are a great conversationalist, I will tell you that. Now I know why you're doing your own show, buddy. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, give it up for A-TRAK.
Yip, 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 yip.
All right, folks, you heard it. You heard it here first. We're going to play that new Duck Sauce record, and then we're going to take a couple requests because it is the power hour, so you know what that means. Everybody want to put a nice little Seth in the chat if you like that if you like that talk with A-TRAK. Give me a little Seth right now. I got to talk to Mario. You guys can come upstairs if you want. I got to get out of here. Let's put this record on while I go talk to him and make sure we have enough space in the VIP tonight. Whoa, yes. Mario, yes. Yeah, A-TRAK, yeah. He's the one. Yeah, he's got the Ferrari down there. You know what it is. Make sure none of these weirdos touch that thing. Not even Alta. She cannot get a ride, okay? Everybody else, if they got that Mario moat, they're part of the Mario VIP Club Tier 2, baby. Let them on upstairs right now. We got room in the VIP for them, for the Mario Club members. Let's get this power hour started right. Welcome to my home. Thank you, A-TRAK. My son wants a bottle of Mountain Valley. He wants a bottle of Mountain Lion from Food Lion, if you guys have that. Yeah. Mario's upstairs. I'm talking to you guys down there. I don't know your names. I just know Mario, man. Whatever. Just see if you can find it. Gosh. All right, bye. Uh-oh, Matthew M. hitting that death drop. Are you ready? 5, 6. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Jasmine Solano's in here. What's up, Jasmine? What's up? All right. Power hour time, baby.
Barbara Streisand. Barbara Streisand. Barbara Streisand.
That's right. Back to back bangers. Got about 3 minutes left in this power hour. I'm sorry, guys. That was a great conversation. Thank you, everybody who stuck around for the whole thing. Appreciate all your questions as well. I'll take one fire request right now. Give it to me in the chat. If it fits, we're gonna play it. OG Lady, we're gonna do a mode only tomorrow for you. And Seth, we're gonna play your video tomorrow, okay? I see him right here. Your channel points will not be wasted, trust me. Oh, nice one, Evander Hologram. Off of the A-TRAK Dirty South remixes. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see. There we go. I need you to turn the lights down. Whatever gonna happen right now. Do whatever you want. Whatever you want. Baby, let me get the number to your BlackBerry card. Thank you guys for the hype train. Also, I guess there was a hype train going on during the interview. I appreciate each and every one of you for all the biznayets and subscripciones. You're the best at that. Now watch mama. Thank you. Remember, we do this Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, twitch.tv/DJ Wonder. I'm so persistent.
than we need in the city.
If you want to check me out tonight, Sirius XM Channel 45, Shade 45. That's the station. 10 p.m. Eastern in a few minutes. I'll be doing that. We're going to raid somebody, but you can put that on in the background for me. That would be very nice of you, if you will.
I'm be the one too cool to even stress. Even though I bought dresses, breasts, Benzes, Lexus, yeah. You get the message, whatever you want. But don't be shy, baby, pick a handbag. And the shoes a match that'll really get them mad. Don't worry about it, cause I'm picking up the tab. And up against the girls like a little bit of cash or whatever they want.
I am on a 24-hour champagne.
Last one right here. Where we going, baby? Direct me to the raid, please. Direct me.
I'm probably just saying that cause I don't have to buy it. The club on a supply it. Boy, I'm on that fly shit. I am with everybody in my past. Don't want me to be.
Yes, this is A-TRAK.
I'm the motherfucking man. I just want you to see. Come take a look. Get a load of
Oh, we gotta go see Chris Villa. Chris Villa, we haven't rated him. He's always in here. We gotta see my boy Chris Villa, baby.
I'm on my Disney shit, goofy flow. On records, I'm Captain Hook, and my new car is Rufio.
Yes.
Damn, where my roof just go? I'm somebody that you should know. Get to shaking something, cause that's what drummer produced it for.
Wow, you guys are very nice to me tonight. I really appreciate you. That means I'm gonna go even harder tomorrow night. I know the debate will be on tomorrow night, but this will be a nice respite from watching the debate. So come on through 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. It's going to be a Friday Eve banger. Trust me. And we have a special guest, first non-DJs I think we're going to have on as guests tomorrow. So that should be interesting. All right, folks. Appreciate each and every one of you. Holler. See ya.